Welcome to Autism 411. I'm Dr. Tamara Moody, educator, advocate, author, and founder of South Florida Autism, Charter School and South Florida Autism Center. For nearly 3 decades, I've dedicated my life to serve an individual with autism and their family. Each week, we will have an honest conversation discussing practical practices and exploring the challenges associated with having a child with autism. We will also be talking about the future of autism because information empowers, understand, transform, and together we can build a more inclusive world. So imagine it's 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You look away for just a moment and your child is gone. Your heart starts racing. You call their name, Johnny, Johnny, but they don't respond. You know that they love water. You know that they don't understand danger. Every second feels like an hour. This isn't a parent's worst nightmare. It's a reality that many autism families have experienced. That's why Spectrum Alert matters. So, what is Spectrum Alert? Let's start with the most important question. What is Spectrum Alert? Spectrum Alert is a proposed emergency notification system specifically designed to help locate missing individuals with autism and other development disability who may wander or become lost. Many people with autism don't respond when their name is called. So some are nonverbal, with others may become overwhelmed and frightened and unintentionally move towards places that are dangerous, such as body of water, busy road, parks, or the woods. Traditionally, missing person protocol don't always recognize these unique behaviors. Spectrum Alert was created to ensure responders have immediate access to information that can improve search efforts and increase the chances of a safe recovery. The goal isn't to replace existing emergency system, it's to enhance them by recognizing the unique need of individual with autism. So how does that work? How does the alarm work? When an individual with autism is reported missing, law enforcement will be able to activate Spectrum Alert. The alert would quickly provide critical information to responding agency and, when appropriate, the public. This could be included a recent photo, the person's name, age, communication ability, medication information, favorite places they may want to go to or wander to, known triggers, common strategy, information about wandering history, other safety consideration that could help locate them. Why is this needed? So let me first go back to why this started. 2 years ago, I was in the cafeteria with a group of my families. I do over 60 trainings every year and on a Saturday morning. So this was one of those Saturday mornings that I had a 911 operator, police officer, firefighter. I had all kind of first responders, and we were having a casual conversation because for me, it's really important that our parents understand and have the information that they need to keep their kids healthy. I'm not just an educator. I consider myself more than an educator. My job, the reason why I'm here, is to give parents information that can make their kids have a successful life, make their life easier. So in this training in particular, we were sitting there and a parent, I'll never forget, she raised her hand and she said, "But Dr. Moody," and you know me, I'm like the worst when it comes on to names. I'm like, "Yes, Cameron's mom." And she goes, "What happens if Cameron wanders off? The Amber Alert won't get Cameron to safety. So what do I do?" So it got me thinking, there has to be something that first responder would know our kids because our kids are so unique. There's no two that's alike. I love to say that they're like snowflakes. So the way you would look for Johnny is not the way you would look for Cameron. Cameron is not going to respond the same way that Johnny would respond. So I had the weekend to think about this because this was a Saturday morning training. And to be honest, the first responders were so nice. They gave mom a lot of different ideas, but I wasn't satisfied with those ideas. So I wanted to do more. So that Sunday morning, I remember waking up and started to think, what could we come up with? That Monday morning, I went and I told my staff, and we came up with the name, the Spectrum Alert, because I feel that there needed to be something that identify our children more, so that if you call Johnny and Johnny doesn't normally respond, you're going to look for and you're going to try different things. We know drowning is number one cause of death for children with autism in South Florida. I'm located in South Florida. For me, that's really important. Every other house probably has a pool or a lake. So it was important for us to create this. And I cannot thank all the people who brought this in front of the governor, and I cannot even thank him enough for signing this bill. July 1st, this bill will be activated. And as much as I'm so excited about this bill being activated, I hope we don't have to use it very often. But to be honest, since we've been waiting for this bill to go into law, we've had many children who've passed away because they've drowned. So for me, I'm looking forward, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about why this spectrum alert is needed. So unfortunately, wandering is one of the greatest safety concerns for many families affected by autism. Children and adults with autism may leave their home, school, or community setting without understanding the danger. Many are attracted to water, train track, parks, playground, or familiar routes. The first few minutes after someone goes missing are often the most critical. Spectral Alert is about giving family peace of mind while providing law enforcement with better tools and better information. Every second matters. So who will benefit from this alert? Well, Spectral Alert benefits everyone, but individual with autism by increasing the likelihood of a safety recovery, families by providing hope during one of the most frightening moments that they can experience, giving the officers information that they may not otherwise have, school and community organization by increasing awareness, the entire community, because we all play a role in keeping vulnerable individuals safe. This is not just an autism issue. This is a community issue. And I'm so happy that I was able to be a part of the creation of it. What do I hope Spectrum Alert will accomplish? Wow. Think about that all the time. But more than anything else, it's simple. It's hope. I want every family to know that if their loved one goes missing, there is a system in place that understands autism. I want every police officers, firefighter, dispatcher, teacher, and neighbors to recognize that autism presents unique challenges during emergency. I want to save lives. If Spectrum Alert even help one child or one adult returning home safety, then every conversation, every meeting, every effort has been worth it. So what can you do today? While we continue working towards broadening awareness and implementation of Spectrum Alert, there are important things family can do right now. The first one is identification. Make sure that your loved one can always identify themselves, even if they're nonverbal. A bracelet, a card, a GPS tracking device if appropriate. Identification sewing into their uniform, into their backpack, in the back of their augmented device. This goal is to help first responder quickly identify and assist your loved one. Create a family safety plan. Every family should have a written safety plan. Ask yourself, who do you call first? Where's our children most likely to go? Do neighbors know our child? Do family members know exactly what to do? Planning ahead can save precious time during an emergency. And for me, I'm always giving my parents the tools to make sure that they're prepared. Work with your school. Let me tell you, every single parent in my school has my mobile number. I'm accessible. Text me, call me. You need to know the people who are taking care of your kids. I often say to my parents when they come and meet with me, you know that your child spend most of their waking moment with us. So you need to know us. Meet your child's school. You should be talking to the people in your child's school every single week. Talk to them if there was an elopement over the weekend, if your child wander off. Talk to them about supervision plan. Talk to them about emergency procedure, dismissal routine, transportation safety. We should be working together. Schools and families should work together as one team. But you also need to build a relationship with your local law enforcement. Don't wait until there's an emergency. Introduce your loved ones to your local police department. Share information about communication needs, sensory needs, behavioral needs, strategies that can help calm your child. So I'll tell you a story. A couple of years ago, when South Florida Autism Charter School was located at the police station. We were our first location on top of an e-library. And that's part of the reason why I just love Hialeah so, because Hialeah has always been home to SFACs. And when we were at Hialeah police station, one of our students eloped. And he was like 6'5", 350 pounds. Police officers didn't know what to do with him. But there was one police officer that was present that did my training in the past. And he was able to contact me and I was able to walk them through it. This little boy loved rap music and they're afraid to approach him. I said, just put your station at 96.5, one of those stations, and let it play some music. I promise you, if you then tell him to come and sit beside you, he'll come and sit with you. Just don't approach him too, just don't go straight in front of him, because then he will react. And not react because he wants to hurt you, because he's a teddy bear, but react because he's frightened. So this is where communication come in with law enforcement. They need to know your child. They need to know their needs. They need to know how, they should approach them. And this is a part of the reason why I do that training, the training that created the Spectrum Alert. In that training, we were also talking to parents about when you call 911 when you need help. You just don't call and say, "Oh my God, my son is destroying the house." No, you call, you need to be as calm as possible. My son has autism. He doesn't understand fear. He doesn't understand certain things. And, he will probably try to go after you. And it's not that he's going after you to hurt you, it's because he may be curious. So those are the little things. My child is nonverbal. He doesn't like to be touched. And if you're going to touch him, you have to ask him, because our kids also are human beings. They love, they kiss, they feel, they hear, they sense. They understand when someone is for them and when someone's not for them. And this is why it's so important that the local law enforcement in your neighborhood know about your children. Educate your community. Autism awareness start with you. It really does. It start with the parents. It start with the family. Teach your family. Teach your neighbors. And let me talk about neighbors for a little bit. I've had conversation with parents in the past that they say, "Dr. Moody, how do I know my neighbor isn't gonna hurt my child?" We don't know. But there's also the search engine that you can search to see what's your neighbor's background. But if I had a child with autism, and I am not here advocating for you all to go out and tell your parents everything about your business, but if I personally have a child with autism, especially if I live in a neighborhood with pool, I would be introducing my child to my neighbors and asking them, "My child elopes," explain to them what that means. And if you see my child, and if my child is having a behavior, if he's having a tantrum, if he's doing something that is maybe not something that their child would be doing, just know that maybe that's a part of the spectrum, because again, it is a spectrum. So have those honest conversations, because the first time your neighbor meets your son is not when your son is in his pool. And I can say that because I've heard tons of stories over the years of kids eloping from their home and then they're found in their neighbor's pool. Teach your babysitters, teach your coaches, teach your church members, teach everyone who may interact with your loved one. The more people understand autism, the safer our autism community is. Because if they don't know, they don't know. So it's up to us as parents, as advocates, as caregivers, as teachers, as principals, to make sure people know that we're here and know who our children is. So now I have this little part that I've carved out called the 411 minute. The 411 minute, it takes a community. It's for me to tell you, just kind of bring everything that we've just talked about into one thing. And for me, it takes a community. Before we end today's episode, I want to leave you with your 411 minute. If there's one thing I hope you take away today, is that our children's safety start long before an emergency happen. If your child is at risk of wandering, don't wait until something happens to make a plan. Teach water safety as early as possible. For many individuals with autism, water is incredibly appealing, which is why swimming lessons and constant supervisions are so important. Water can be beautiful, but it can also become dangerous in a matter of seconds. Get to know your neighbors. Introduce your child to them. Let them know that your child's name, how they communicate, who to call if they ever see your child alone. A neighbor who recognizes your child could make all the difference. Make sure your child's school, caregiver, grandparents, babysitter, abuelas understand your family safety plan. Everyone should know what to do if your child wanders. Keep current photos of your child. Consider medical identification and think about whether a GPS device is appropriate for your child's family needs. Most importantly, remember this: we cannot watch our children every second of every day. This isn't failure, that's reality. That's why we build a community around them. We prepare, we educate, we work together. Because when a child with autism go missing, every second matters. This is your Autism 411 minute. Stay informed, stay prepared. Together, let's build safer community for every family. Spectrum Alert isn't just about finding someone who's missing. It's about creating community that understand autism before emergency ever happened, like I said before. Together, through education, advocacy, and compassion, we can build a safety community for every individual with autism. My hope is that 411 becomes a trusted place where families, educators, professionals, advocates come together to learn, grow, and create a better future for individuals with autism. I can't tell you how much I am so excited about the upcoming episode. I really wanted to dedicate this first episode to the Spectrum Alert because it's being launched tomorrow. Thank you for joining me on this journey, and I will talk to you soon. Dr. Tamara Moody.